it like ready to go. There's actually emergency kits that you can buy online.
Really, and it has everything.
But it's not stuff you would ever
like what?
$100. Well, I think one of the best things that happened for me working for a partnership was that knowing my community, you know, knowing all the people that live within the community, and knowing you guys, of course. And the worst I thought was, and the most challenging was in my particular area was not being able to communicate with a Korean population there, and it's heavily Korean, it's Koreatown. So I thought that was the most challenging for me. I wish that I could have communicated with them better.
Well, one of the best things I think that I learned from this position was being able to give presentations to people, large number of people, especially in Spanish. I was able to go and give the information that I needed to do and do it correctly. It was great. I learned a lot from the partnership. However, I felt that some of the materials that we got, because they were made in China, a lot of people got pretty pissed off because of the economy. It should have probably been made in the United States.
That's a good point.
So, they're going to work on that in 2020.
Okay, there are many best things in my case because I, as Trax, was given the core of Hollywood, and so that meant going from really comfortable sort of upper middle class neighborhoods all the way through multi-ethnic neighborhoods to popular Hispanic neighborhoods bordering on Koreatown and on Thai-town actually. So how to address this complete diversity, not only
So what was the best you have from the census and the bad? The best.
Well, the best was to figure out how to deal with it, which I feel I did by targeting, by discovering where I could access all of these populations at the same time. And that's where I came up with the idea of enlisting the farmers markets in Hollywood, because that is the one place in Hollywood where everybody goes. And so I thought that if the farmers markets participated, we would have an outreach across the board that should be very effective. And I think it did prove to be very effective.
Okay, and the bad
worst
thing you have for the census.
I would have liked to have promotional materials early on. I would have liked to have, in Spanish, I would have liked to have various promotional materials and things of different physical sizes, because one large poster with no information I thought was really not productive.
The best thing for me was the grassroots communication with my community. I loved it. I really did. I enjoyed telling people who had no idea what the census was, communicating to them in a really simple way what it was, and having them walk away understanding something new and something really important. So that to me was huge. Just that hand-to-hand, like grassroots level communication with people. I think it's super effective.
Great.
The worst thing for me was actually, the thing I found challenging was the fact that we weren't given census email addresses and or computers. So we sort of had to, if we were going to use, we weren't really supposed to use our computers, but it's impossible to do the job without using your computer. So we had to use our own personal email address and our own personal computers, and I thought that was a big drag. I just thought, and not even a drag, I mean more than that, it was not very professional for me to just give them my Gmail account and stuff like that.
And no calling.
So I thought that was a problem. I would have liked to have had my own business card. And then just one other note is that I really, really wish that it was a greener census, and I'm really hoping that in 2020 it's a greener census. We need to be printing on recycled paper. There was a tremendous amount of waste in terms of all the stuff that was printed out, and you know, a lot of it's still sitting there and not even used. So I think that we need to get smarter about the way that we pass information and how we can do that more online and really get into the move with the times.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, some of the
Best.
once again, I'm going to have to reiterate, some of the best thing was doing outreach in my own community that, you know, has helped me develop, helped me realize that there's a lot more issues in regards to the census that apply to other people that you might not think who are automatically an HTC, hard to count population. And the needs and sensitivity of people vary. And that's going to actually lead into the next question for me. What was the greatest challenges? And some of the greatest challenges that I focus is I thought they spent hundreds and hundreds of $1 million, you know, probably just millions of dollars in promotional items, yet there were not direct marketing materials to the groups they want us to outreach.
Yeah.
So I would like to see change. You're spending all this money, you know, you could get more direct promotional item materials. It's not like, why is everything geared to X or Y population? You know, why, you know, if you're out there reaching to communities, you got to realize that there's a vast variety of communities, and it has to be like more direct marketing, and I felt more interactive marketing, because they spent all this money and we're essentially a part of their marketing team, because PR, that's what we're doing, is, you know, it's too vast. It wasn't enough direct / interactive.
So you feel that there was no, you know, marketing segmentation, let's say that.
For like, yeah,
Direct
like what type of, like, I have a question for you. What type of marketing materials do we have for West Hollywood? What type of marketing materials do we have for Jewish community? What type of you know, they picked their favorite communities and they gave them everything.
Okay.
As advice to, like, we get tons of Spanish stuff. There's so many people out there, you know.
So we should be able to customize at a certain point ourselves the material instead of following, because there is one thing in the census. Let me put this there now that you mentioned it, that we have to have a unified national message. That's very important. We cannot be talking something in Wax and something else in Beverly Hills or something else in New York.
Yeah.
A unified national message. Have a challenge of customizing or doing marketing segmentation for specific communities or language. That's a big challenge, yes. And what Eli is saying here that is important is that we partnership should be the ones able to customize it.
Yeah.
For
The
that's a
the
great
national
idea.
language,
Yeah, yeah.
the national unified language is okay, but then we should be the one to customize
On
it
our level.
into the gay community, the Spanish community,
Right.
which is very
The
diverse.
Iranian community.
Let's just
Yeah,
try to
whatever
reach,
type of-
talking about the
Yeah.
Spanish, which is the bigger of the count in the nation,
Well, yeah.
and it's going to be. We should be able to customize it to the Oaxaqueños, to the specific communities, or the people living in Alvarado. It's not the same people that are living on
Rampart.
Santa Monica or Rampart. So those communities,
Or for-
even to those communities, having the same Spanish piece of paper, it may work, but it can be improvised. It can be totally customized by census tract, even if we have the resources to do it. Okay.
And nowadays, just FYI, when you say resources, I guarantee you anybody with proper budgeting experience could take the exact same money that they spent
Yeah.
and build it into customizing. Because basically, you're going to use the same colors, you're going to use the same basic things. The only thing that are really changing are languages, you know. And anybody that knows a little bit about marketing, you know, that's just a little bit of a budget. You know what I'm saying? To build that in, you know, it's there if they wanted to do it properly.
I definitely agree with Ellie, and to keep it short, you know, the best thing for me was, you know, working with the Armenian community, letting them know about the census and how important it is and how it affects our own community, you know. So that was the most important for me. And the worst was that I was limited on supplies within the Armenian community. I didn't have a lot for them to relate to, so that was my issue within that. Other than that,